welcome in for another evening of TPI News. I'm Santana Wood.
And I'm Siri Hedreen. Coming up tonight, thousands affected by Hurricane Zeta, arrest made in September murder case, unique campaign signs pop up across the state, and Friday night football matchups.
Thousands of people are still without power throughout the state and in the Tri-County region after Hurricane Zeta brought strong winds and rain overnight. Alabama Power, Central Alabama Electric Authority, and city crews have been hard at work since the early morning hours to restore power, but do ask for your patience as it will take some time, possibly even days, for all homes to have power. Volunteer groups have also been out and about, working hard to help clear debris. Officials advise all residents to stay off the roads unless absolutely necessary so they can work more efficiently and keep everyone safe. Elmore County crews are busy trying to clear high traffic roads and back roads, but officials said most major roadways have reopened. Wetumpka Mayor Jerry Willis warned motorists that they still may encounter some roads with debris and to use caution in these areas. Damage is extensive and widespread throughout the area, but officials are thankful the storm was not as bad as the straight-line winds from mid-April. The Hackneyville Community Center saw extensive damage. It was supposed to be a polling location for Hackneyville residents in Tuesday's general election, but a new location is currently in the works. The Tallapoosa County Commission, Secretary of State's office, and several other organizations are working together to secure a new polling location for Tuesday.
A man police believe is responsible for the murder of a Dadeville shooting victim is behind bars. Alexander City Police arrested 20-year-old Christopher Jerome Thomas late last week on a murder charge just 6 weeks after Antoine Laquan Morgan, also 20, was shot outside Benson's Community Center in Alexander City. Police began searching for the responsible suspect after the murder, but asked for more assistance after Thomas tried to flee police on September 14th, driving at high speeds, nearly wrecking 3 times, according to court records. The U.S. Marshal Service then became involved and ultimately arrested Thomas in Goodwater last Thursday. Before he was shot, the victim, Morgan, was out of jail on bond for murder and robbery charges following a March incident in Camp Hill. Motives behind his death were unclear following the shooting, but police believe a fight broke out that night at the community center. Police say the September shooting is still under investigation. If Thomas is found guilty of murder, he could be sentenced to between 10 and 99 years in prison.
A unique campaign sign has popped up in front yards all over the state of Alabama, vying for a different candidate, but a familiar one than those on the ballot.
Tell me about your sign in your front yard.
Well, you see, I'm 93 years of age. I was baptized when I was 10 years old. So I've got 80 years to talk about. How much time have we allocated for this?
So how this all started was about a month or so ago. Phil Blassingame gave me a call from a local church up in Newside, Rocky Creek Baptist Church. Said he had been driving down the road and wanted to know if I could do some signs for him. He sent me an image of it, and it was Jesus 2020 sign. I don't think you can copyright Jesus and the number 2020.
I will do that then. I've started noticing as I was traveling this summer probably 3/4 of the driveways had Jesus 2020 campaign signs.
The day we delivered those to him, that same day, he said, I got to have some more signs. He said, I've already given them all away. I said, okay, so we did 10 more signs.
And I think a small church in Raymer, Alabama started it with all the chaos that's been going on this year, with all the riots and all the movements and everything. They said they just felt like that, the person they needed to vote for was Jesus.
Yes, I saw the Jesus sign and I was like, I like that. My take on it, I think is good in a sense, and hopefully that people are actually getting the message about Jesus, that the Son of God, Jesus.
Do you think anyone is going to put Jesus as a write-in candidate because of the signs?
A lot of people do a lot of things. It'd be interesting. So I don't know. It could be. And I just felt like if I was going to vote today, I'd vote for Jesus over any of them that's running because I thought he was more qualified. And he is very qualified.
After the break, we will hear from Ryan and Caleb on this week's football matchups.
I'm Caleb Turrentine with the Wetumpka Herald, and I'm here with Ryan Gallagher, Alex of the Outlook. We are here to talk about some high school sports in the TPI coverage area. First, I want to talk a little bit about where I was supposed to be today. Edgewood Volleyball was supposed to be playing for a state championship, but with all the power outages, that also affected Garrett Coliseum and Montgomery. So that game has been pushed to Friday. Make sure to stay tuned for coverage on that. But then we also have the final week of the regular season for football. So let's quickly shift over to football, and we'll talk about last week. Ryan, who was your player of the week last week?
Phil Dowdle out of Dadeville got it done just in all phases of the game: special teams, defense, offense. Just become a nice outlet for Lane Smith on the offensive side, getting it done defense with his ball hawking skills, and just his return ability is just insane. Had a punt and kick return this past week. Had to give it to him.
Over here in Elmore County, I picked the probably who was the best player, undoubtedly on the field in the Wetumpka Stanhope Elmore rivalry game was Stanhope Elmore's William Whitlow Jr. About 30 hours before kickoff, he committed to Memphis for next season. So he was certainly feeling himself. He went out. He had 4 sacks. He had 5 tackles for a loss. He dominated that game. He got a lot of help with that defensive line. They were in the backfield a lot against Wetumpka, but he finished off a lot of those plays and helped the defense limit Wetumpka, who had scored 49 points in consecutive weeks, to less than 200 yards of offense. So he made a huge impact in that game. More games this week. No region implications. Region games are done. Playoffs are next week. These are games that can be overlooked, but we still got a big slate and a lot of exciting games. We'll start with you. Where are you going to be at tomorrow?
Yeah, this time of year always makes me a little bit sad. The last week of football, especially with only one team make it to the playoffs this year. It went by so fast. It always seems to, and just hoping that these seniors get to go out with a win. First game we're going to talk about is the one that got canceled for tonight that I was supposed to be at, is Dadeville taking on BB Comer. That would have been a good game, a nice little measuring stick for both teams just to see how they would kind of fare going into their respective classification playoffs, and just keeping those guys, just engaged. But Coach Roger McDonald is saying that his team's excited to use the extra time to kind of just prepare a little bit more. Another one is Benjamin Russell at Sylacauga. Sylacauga coming off a loss last week to Hopeville. Benjamin Russell on a 2-game win streak, looking to finish up the season on a 3-game win streak. Just finish the season strong, send the seniors out on a good note. That's their emphasis right now. Then I'm going to be at Hopeville at Reeltown. Should be an interesting matchup because I don't really know what Hopeville is going to do. Are they going to try to rest players the second half or at all? Are they going to be, trying maybe some new things, trying to work in depth? Are they going to be trying new plays that they might sneak into the playoffs? Right. You just don't really know what they're going to do. And Reeltown, they're going to come out hard because they don't have anything else to play for, and they want to send their seniors out on a good note. Woodland going to Horseshoe Bend should be an interesting matchup. Horseshoe Bend, they also won the first game of the season, have dropped 8 in a row. Really want to send their seniors out on a good note. Should be a really fun game to watch. And then finally, last game in the Tallapoosa-Coosa area is Central Coosa traveling to Talladega County. Talladega County was the team that Central Coosa beat last year to get their first win in 3 seasons. So they're feeling pretty confident going into this game. Not taking them lightly, but still feeling confident and excited to get back on the field after missing last week. What games you got going on in the Elmore County area?
Well, one of the ones that has been most talked about is the Tallahassee game, as they were set to play Carroll for homecoming, and then that was canceled. And they were set to play Geneva for homecoming, and then that was canceled. And so now they finally settled on a homecoming opponent for Bullitt County. That's going to be this Friday. Tallahassee is not in the playoffs, but they are, after missing the 2 crucial weeks in region play, they're just happy to be back on the field. They're wanting to end on a high note with a win, and obviously they make a big deal with homecoming over there, so they're excited this week. Stanhope Elmore is hosting Seven Egg Smith Station. That should be a really good challenge for Stanhope Elmore to be able to really gauge where they're at. They play much better at home this season, but they've also had some mistakes on the road, so they're trying to figure out, correct some things, and just try to play their best football. They still don't know who their playoff opponent is for next week, so they are not overlooking Smith Station. They're just wanting to play this game, and then they'll move on to the playoffs. Elmore County will also finish up its season, as they are not in the postseason. They have lost 8 straight, and they will play against Jemison on Friday, another team that's not in the playoffs. So they're just looking for some sort of positivity. And as Coach Cantrell said, they're looking to kickstart next year with a bunch of young guys that they have. So they're looking to get some playing time for them. Edgewood is hosting Wilcox. That's where I'm going to be at. My first look at Edgewood in the final week of the regular season, as they're also trying to kickstart before the playoffs, and they know their opponent, a really tough patrician team, so they're trying to get some momentum before that game. Wetumpka is off. They said that they'd rather be playing after losing that rivalry game. They'd rather the playoffs be starting right away, but they have an extra week to prepare, and I'm sure that'll come in handy when they're resting their guys. So a lot more to talk about from those games, but obviously we will get into that more on Friday's Inside the Lines live show. You'll be at Reeltown. I'll be at Edgewood, and make sure you tune in, because there's a lot, still some things to figure out with the playoff implications,
Right.
even though we don't know exactly what's going to happen. So make sure to tune in for that at 6 o'clock on our Facebook pages.
And be sure to follow us along each game day on Twitter as well with the hashtag TPI Preps. We'll be giving you guys updates of all the games that are going along, and just keep you informed. That's going to be it for us tonight. I'm Ryan Gallagher with the Alexander City Outlook, alongside Caleb Turrentine of the Elmore County. You guys have a blessed weekend, and we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks again for tuning in tonight. I'm Santana Wood alongside Siri Hadreen. Y'all have a good night.